Yo, this your boy, the real McCoy, coming at you, man. Talking about a little NBA, National Basketball Association, a little B-ball, NBA season just now kicking off. You know what I mean? I just want to talk about it, man. I'm excited to come for it coming up. You got guys, superstars coming back healthy. You know what I mean? Should be other superstars hurt. You know what I mean? But it's part of the game. I'm just excited, man. You got the first, we got to say congratulations to the San Antonio Spurs for winning their fifth championship in franchise history. Tim Duncan got number 5, big fundamental. They did their thing. They dominated the Miami Heat. You know what I mean? I actually picked the Spurs the last 2 years to win it. You know what I mean? I had a chance to win it last year, but in Game 6, and 30 seconds left. But they dominated them this year. You know what I mean? Kawhi Leonard burst onto the scene. Finals MVP. He would be an easy favorite for most improved player, but because he won Finals MVP, people are gonna expect that from him. So he kind of hurt himself for that award. But I think that's probably gonna go to Anthony Davis anyway, most improved player. So congratulations to them, man. Let's talk about the Western Conference. Kobe's back healthy. I don't know if the Lakers are gonna make the playoffs. I know they're opening night, Julius Randle, the first the first round pick, broke his leg. He may miss the entire year. And they're just the Lakers just aren't that talented. You know what I mean? Just being real. And the West is deep. You got Kevin Durant's going to miss like a month with a foot injury, I believe. So Westbrook gonna carry the team for about a month. They're gonna see what he can do when he has his own team. You know what I mean? Interested in that. And you know what I mean? It just, the West is very deep, very, very, very deep, very talented. The Clippers are intriguing. I just think their 2 and 3 spot is gonna. A lot of people are picking the Clippers to win the West. I don't see that. I definitely don't see it. They'll be in the postseason, no doubt, and they'll probably win the division, the Pacific Division. I don't see them winning the West. I think their wings, the 2, I think it's J.J. Redick and Matt Barnes. Their wings, I don't think offensively they're good enough to beat some of the better teams. You know, now can CP3 finally lead his team to a conference finals for the first time in his career? That could happen this year. I still don't think so. You know what I mean? I think the best division in the Western Conference is the Southwest Division. Then you got the Grindhouse, Memphis Grizzlies. You got the Houston Rockets, an interesting team with Dwight Howard and James Harden. I was leaning towards picking Dwight Howard for MVP, but I was like, his free throw shooting, he's probably going to get in foul trouble and things like that. And I mean, but going back to that 2010 year in Orlando he had, where he was MVP, it was 2010, 2000, I think back-to-back years, he was up there with Dwight Howard and Derrick Rose as far as MVPs, you know what I mean? But I think James Harden may get some consideration or maybe take some of his votes away. So, but you got the Rockets in the mix, you got an up-and-coming team in the Pelicans, you got the Mavericks, and you got the Spurs. That division is they're gonna beat each other up. That division is very tough. I think the team that's on the rise, they look very good. This New Orleans Pelicans, man. The Pelicans they could be the Raptors or the Wizards from the Eastern Conference last year. They could get to the second round, or be a very hard team to put out in the first round. They just they lack the playoff experience. But they are very talented. You know what I mean? They got Omir Asik from the Rockets, so Anthony Davis can play power forward. He can play the 4 spot. He doesn't have to play center, which definitely helps him out. You know what I mean? So, I mean, he's a monster. He put up big numbers. I'm an Orlando Magic fan. He put up big numbers against us in the opening night. You know what I mean? So the Pelicans are a team that I definitely see in the playoffs. The only thing they lack is probably quality, depth, and experience. And I definitely have them. I have them in the playoffs this year. I don't know. I would say they'll probably knock Memphis out. The teams that didn't make it, I think they'll knock Memphis out, and the Pelicans will be in there. You still got the Phoenix Suns and teams like that. I don't know about Portland. I think maybe Portland overachieved last year. You know, what it could be for real. But the Pelicans, I like the Pelicans. But my Western Conference Finals matchup, I've got the Spurs there again. You know what I mean? And a team that I think they're going to play against may surprise you. Is the Dallas Mavericks. You know what I mean? You got, they come crazy. You got the Thunder. You got the Clippers out there. You got the Rockets. You know what I mean? I mean, they played the Mavericks on opening night. You know what I mean? But man, the Mavericks put together. Mark Cuban put together a pretty solid team, man. They've got rebounding now with Tyson Chandler. You know what I mean? And Dirk together. You know what I mean? They're gonna get about 8 to 20 rebounds a game between the two of them. They've got paint protection with Tyson Chandler. They got low post defense, Tyson Chandler. I mean, he was there in 2011 when the Mavericks beat the Heat in the finals. You know what I mean? So, and then they have a lot of shooting. Dirk, Chandler Parsons came over from the Rockets. Jameer Nelson came from He came from Orlando. I'm a Magic fan. Monte Ellis, Devin Harris. I mean, they got shooters galore. They got a solid wings with Monte and Chandler Parsons. They got depth. I mean, so that's who I'm picking. You know what I mean, to be in the Western Conference Finals, and that's gonna be me. They played Dallas and the Spurs. Played in the first round last year and went 7 games. Great series, man. So. But I'm leaning towards the Spurs to win the West again. That's, you know, my personal opinion. I think another team that could maybe do something is the Rockets. I think Trevor Ariza is a tad bit upgrade over Chandler Parsons as far as shooting, playmaking. He's a better defender, more athletic, no doubt. And you know what I mean. But I think the Rockets lost depth. No Jeremy Lin. No Asik, you know what I mean? They lost some depth. Patrick Beverly, you know, he's a great defender at point guard, but you know he lacks the offensive skills. And Jeremy Lin was a better offensive player. Just Patrick Beverly is a way better defender. And I guess they figure if you got James Harden and Dwight Howard, you don't really need offense. So they made a move, you know, and they were trying to that's a motorcycle riding by. What the Rockets are doing with letting go Jeremy Lin, where they were trying to clear cap space to sign a LeBron or a Melo or a Chris Bosh. Everybody thought Chris Bosh was going to Houston and through free agency, but you know, it didn't work out like that. But anyway, that's who I got winning the West. This Spurs. I think an interesting team to watch is the Pelicans, man. New Orleans Pelicans. Funny name, but they're a dangerous team, man. They're a young, athletic team, hungry. You know what I mean? So the Eastern Conference, you know, you obviously got to talk about LeBron, King James, going back home to Cleveland. You know what I mean? You got to look at that. You got to talk about Derrick Rose coming back healthy. Excuse me. Two major knee injuries. He hasn't really played in 2 years, year and a half, 2 years, 2 and a half, something like that. You know, he's back. Paul George broke his leg in the FIBA. You know what I mean, the Summer League, for the Olympics. He may come back late in the year, but it's looking like he's out for the year. Lance Stevenson going to Charlotte. The Heat without LeBron. The Wizards, they're an interesting team. Can the Raptors duplicate what they did last year? The Brooklyn Nets, can they stay healthy? Can Melo lead the Knicks to the playoffs with a new head coach and Steve Kerr? You know, not Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr is coaching Golden State. Derek Fisher, we got Phil Jackson in the front office. So the East is very interesting, man. I think the team that's most interesting to watch in the East is the Washington Wizards, man. The Wizards could make some noise. Went to the second round last year. Lost to the Indiana Pacers in a competitive 6-game series. I mean, they have size. Gortat, Nene, low post presence with Nene. Gortat somewhat. They got a rebounding. Gortat, Nene. They got that wing. They lost a little athleticism on the wing by getting rid of Ariza, but they brought in Paul Pierce. I mean, a little bit better wing score. They got a closer in Pierce now. Spread the floor up to 3. You know, the Ariza shot the 3 very well. You got the veteran experience. You know what I mean. They got a guy that can break down the defense off the dribble with John Wall. They got shooting with Bradley Beal and Paul Pierce can shoot the three. You know, so they're an interesting team to watch. Very interesting to watch. You know, I was leaning towards them playing the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, the way Indiana was struggling late in the year, struggled 7 games against the Hawks, and I was leaning towards the Wizards. And I thought the Wizards were gonna, because the Wizards and the Heat are both in the Southeast Division in the NBA, obviously in the Southeast Division, and they split. They played 4 times and they split. I was like, that would have been an interesting series, in my opinion. You know what I mean? But they're interesting to watch. Then you got the Bobcats, Lance Stevenson, or he leaving. He left the Pacers and he's in Charlotte. Charlotte got swept by the Heat last year, but the defense is good, really good. I mean, there were about 3 or 4 minute stretch throughout the game where the Heat struggled to score against the Bobcats defense, you know what I mean? So, I mean, they're up and coming. The Raptors, you know what I mean? The Knicks, you know, but I think the 4 best teams in the East are the Cavaliers, the Bulls, the Wizards, and I'm kind of torn between the Nets and the Raptors, you know what I mean? I think the top 3 is the Wizards, Bulls, and the Cavaliers. I'm torn with the Raptors. The Nets, injuries, they always hurt. Darren Williams, Brook Lopez with his feet, ankle, always hurt. When healthy, they have a solid ball club. Darren Williams, Joe Johnson. They lost Paul Pierce, which could hurt them. You know, Brook Lopez. So I may give the nod to the Raptors, but you know what I mean. So I'm going with the Raptors. I think the Raptors are a solid team. Got that experience from last year. They'll be the top 4. You know what I mean. Now Heat are an intriguing team because they're going to ask Luol Deng and Danny Granger, between the 2 of them together, to try and duplicate the numbers that LeBron did. You know what I mean? Between the 2 of them, his rebound, his assists, and his scoring. Between the 2 of those guys, you know what I mean? They got solid defense in Luol. They didn't lose anything there. I mean, he's not going to be chasing down guys from behind like LeBron used to do, but a solid on-ball defender. The same weakness the Heat has had over the last 4 years is probably really going to be an issue this year, and that's rebounding. You know, that's our Pacers, you know what I mean, kept it competitive, is rebounding. When Chris Bosh is playing your center, he's not a great rebounder, he's not a great shot, but instead of blocking shots, he'll take the charge. You know, he's definitely turned into a finesse player. You know, he used to be a low block guy, go down on a low block when he played with the Raptors. But they're an interesting team, you know what I mean? They got the 3-point guards, they drafted Shabazz Napier. I think at some point they're gonna move one of those guys. And it may be Mario Chalmers that gets traded or gets moved, something like that. You know, but they're a team, they're able to play together. They've got the experience. The Heat could be a number 4, number 5 seed in the East. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they made it, if they were that far up in the playoffs, and also wouldn't surprise me if they didn't even make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's as far as the Heat. That's how I see them. I just think the top 3 teams, Wizards, Bulls, and Heat. Some people may disagree on the Wizards, but I like the Wizards. I definitely like the Wizards. Now my Orlando Magic, we're just trying. Victor Oladipo is going to miss about a month, I believe, maybe a few weeks. He broke a bone in his face, facial fracture. And right now, we just, you know, Jacques Vaughn, he's a young coach, came over from Greg Popovich and the Spurs system. We're just trying to, you know, we're younger. We got rid of Jameer and follow. So we're going young, we're going with athleticism. Now we just got to coach and gain some experience. And so, I mean, but Orlando Magic, we're not going to be in the playoffs, you know what I mean? But I think now, as far as the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm going to go with the Cavaliers and the Bulls. You know, I think those are the 2 best teams. It wouldn't surprise me if the Wizards were in there. But I do believe the Cavaliers will be there. I don't know if they're going to play the Wizards or the Bulls, in my personal opinion. Now, as far as who played the Spurs in the finals, man, I don't know, because between the Cavs and the Bulls, because the Bulls have all the experience, but the Cavaliers have all the talent, especially offensively. You know, now that you get a Pau Gasol who can take a little pressure off D Rose as far as scoring, But without D Rose last year, I mean, the Bulls were number 4 seed last year. So they're gonna play defense. You know what I mean? Things like that. The things that concern me about the Cavaliers is that Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, neither one of those guys have ever been in the playoffs at all in the NBA at all. I mean, that's a different kind of animal. You know what I mean? In the postseason, the intensity, the way the game is coached, the way the game is played, the way the game is officiated by the referees, it's all different in the postseason. You know, so that'd be tough. But man, I don't. If I had to pick right now, I would say Cavaliers and Spurs in the finals. Cavaliers and Spurs. But I don't know, man. I want to say the Bulls. I don't know if I think the Bulls' toughness and rebounding may be a little bit too much for the Cavaliers. But I think the Kyrie and LeBron and Kevin Love is a little bit too much. And now this is the first time in Kyrie Irving's career now where he's gonna have to learn to play off the ball. I mean, you go back and you're already on YouTube. Look at Kyrie Irving highlights going all the way back to high school. He's always had the ball in his hands. That's when he's at his best. So it's gonna be the first time in his career where he's gonna have to learn how to play off the ball. I mean, I know LeBron did come out and say that, you know, Kyrie's the guy that's gonna, you know what I mean, run the show and all that. But in the clutch, I don't know if Kyrie. I'm a huge Kyrie fan. I'm a huge Duke fan. College basketball. That's where Kyrie came from. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that entire dynamic, how they play. You know, and you know, can they coexist? Because you look at when LeBron first went to Miami down in 2010, 2011. I think the Heat started off 9-8, and they weren't a horrible team. It was just LeBron and D-Wade were getting familiar, getting used to playing with each other. But as you can see, they went to 4 straight finals, 2 championships, things like that. I mean, you can see it worked out very well. But I do have the Spurs, and I do have the Cavaliers in the finals, like a lot of people. I think it's gonna be. I definitely got the Spurs repeating. I got the Spurs repeating, and I have Tim Duncan retiring at the end of this year. He's gonna get his 6th ring. He's gonna retire. I just think the Spurs got everybody coming back. Kawhi Leonard is. I mean, I'm outside, so you hear vehicles and things like that. Miles some kind of dirt bike or something. Anyway, you got Kawhi Leonard doing his thing, stepping up big on a 2-way player. They got shooting, they got depth, everything, man. It's there. The only thing that could keep them is if they get old right in front of our eyes. They just age, and you're like, whoa, okay. And that's the only. Other than that, they've got the coach, no doubt. And that's why I see them winning the West. But I do believe the one team that can beat them is not the Thunder, not the Rockets in a series. I think it's the Dallas Mavericks. It's the Dallas Mavericks. You know what I mean? So, but that's who I got, you know what I mean, as far as MVP. I thought about picking Dwight Howard, maybe a Kevin Durant, but I think the Thunder lost depth. I know they got Brandon Morrow, a scorer coming off the bench, but they got Reggie Jackson in the starting lineup now, and that's going to hurt them coming off the bench. You know what I mean? They really don't have much scoring from the bigs with Ibaka and Perkins, you know what I mean? So Durant and Westbrook have to carry a lot of the load. They don't have the depth to compete with the Dallas Mavericks or Spurs in a series, you know. So I think I got the Spurs. MVP, I guess I go with LeBron. It's the easiest choice. Maybe a Durant, maybe a D Rose if he's healthy, but I don't think D Rose will. I don't think he's going to put up the minutes. You know what I mean? Out of 82 games, he's probably going to play about 70. You know what I mean? If you're a Bulls fan, be happy if he plays 75. I don't think he's going to play 82 with his knees, especially on back-to-backs, you know what I mean? So, but most improved player, Anthony Davis, surprise team, the Pelicans, in my opinion, you know what I mean? It's going to be a competitive postseason. I wish Paul George is healthy. We got Kobe. I mean, most of the guys are healthy, but, you know, Paul George is up and coming, you know what I mean? So, but that's my take on the season, man. I'm very excited about it. It's underway. It's kicking off, you know what I mean? Some great matchups, great games, great talent out there. Interesting teams to watch, you know what I mean? The Cavaliers, things like, can the Spurs win the West and repeat, you know what I mean? So, but that's my take on it, man. I'm excited, just like the rest of you guys, you know what I mean? So, Let me know what you guys think. MVP, most improved, who's going to be in the finals, things like that, man. So I'm excited just like you guys, man. But this your boy, man. I'm the real McCoy, man. I'm out. Peace.